Good heavens, there it is. It's Frankenstein's monster. Stop, beast! Frankenhead. Here it is. This is the Frankenhead. This is an 8-panel purple and undead plaid wool polyester blend cap. In Boston Scally's own words, this 8-panel Scally is stitched together with a bold plaid and solid purple front panels that electrify its look. Here is the cap in hand. This is the Frankenhead by Boston Scally Company, and I really like the colors on here. The purple, of course, in the front here, and the greens all throughout. Of course, it looks so Halloweenish. It's the colors I think we really do in modern times associate with Halloween. It just looks like it screams a traditional Halloween cap. I think the Frankenhead does, and this was a cap that I had seen quite a while ago, and I really like the Frankenhead. It was one that I wanted to get. Once I got into Boston Scally, it was sold out, so I had to wait until this fall season came around, and this is part of one of the caps that is part of Boston Scally's fall collection, the Frankenhead. So I love the Frankenhead. I think it's such a cool cap, and I actually looked this up as far as the colors. Of course, the green, is associated with Frankenstein. The his makeup, the decaying flesh, the grayish, greenish color. So I think we get that. But I was really interested in the purple. Where did the purple come from? And so I think this actually, if you look this up, it's just kind of, it's a symbol, it's really just symbolism for mystery, the supernatural, something kind of like that. So I think that's where that comes from as far as I can tell. If you have any other input on that, please let me know, because I couldn't find out all that much about it. But I think it's really cool. And of course, Boston Scally does actually have a couple. This is one of the head caps. There is also the pumpkin head. There is the vampire head, the Frankenhead. There might even be a couple more that I'm forgetting about right now. But the pumpkin head is really cool. I really like the Pumpkinhead cap. It's actually the first cap I did a review for on this channel, and I was so getting my bearings. I didn't know quite what I was doing yet. I don't think any of us do when we start these channels like this, especially when we're alone and we don't have a team, helping us. So it was my first review, but I still love that cap. The Pumpkinhead is a great cap. It is also a very traditional looking Halloween cap in the fall collection from Boston Scally. So I don't think you could go wrong with either of these caps. And like I said, I just really like the colors of this cap. I am one, if you don't know now, if you haven't been following into my videos, I'm a very big fan of loud caps, of different looking caps. And one of my favorite things about Boston Scally Company is that they have so many thematic caps. And some people think it comes off as gimmicky, and I can see that point of view. But I think it's cool. I think, they make so many caps. They're a little bit, too many, maybe, if you ask some people. They're maybe at the point of quantity over quality, I think, with some of their caps. But they do have so many caps that, you can pick and choose and wear one for a season, and it goes with that season. And the next season, or the next holiday, of course, we have Valentine's Day coming up, and they just released a lot of Valentine's Day caps. So they have so many opportunities to wear these caps for these certain holidays or these certain seasons. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's, Boston Scally gets a lot of flack these days, but I think that's one of the things that sets them apart a little bit, is because they do have so many options. So all of these caps, they're designed to wear at certain times of the month. So I think that's really cool. And this, of course, the Frankenhead, it did a pin. It does have the Frankenhead pin, as you see here. Really cool pin. I think that's a neat pin. You got Frankenstein there wearing the cap, which is actually pretty representative of the cap. Sometimes it is not. So I think that's really neat. And of course, the brim here, it's just the plaid of going there. But it does have, of course, if you can see it there, the logo, the Frankenhead logo, which is the same as the pin, and that is really neat. And they also released a sweatshirt with the Frankenhead along with this release. The pin, the cap, and the sweatshirt, they're all sold out right now. But that's a really neat sweatshirt too. And I've said it in the past, but I'm not one who wants to walk around looking like a billboard for a company or a product. But I really like that plum color on that. I think that's a really neat looking color. And it goes really well with this cap. I got so many of the fall collection caps that I kind of let the apparel slide by for the most part. I got the, I don't even know, I forget how Boston Scally describes it now, but it's the tobacco, essentially just the orange and black plaid for Halloween for the fall season. I think that's a really, really neat shirt. I like that shirt a lot. I wear it. I think it goes best probably with the Pumpkinhead cap, is the one to me that it looks the best with. But I like that. I like that shirt a lot. I can just wear that anytime during the fall season, and it goes really well with whatever I'm wearing, cap wise. If you choose any cap really for that season. I think that's really neat. I like that a lot. And Boston Scally, they do release a lot of apparel along with their caps, and I think that's just also something that kind of sets them apart. And, you have all these really neat pins that they have, and so you get the whole shebang, I think, with their product. You don't feel like you're just getting a cap. A lot of the times you feel like you're getting kind of a whole, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but a whole theme, just a whole, it's not just the one product, it's everything that goes along with it. So I don't know the word I'm looking for. Maybe I'll put it in when I edit the video with the word I'm looking for. But it's just really neat because you feel like you're just getting a whole package. You're not just getting a one-off product that they didn't really put a lot of time into. Instead, you're getting something that feels complete. And so I think that's something that, as much flack as they get, Boston Scally Company, I think that's one thing they do very well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rate the Frankenhead because this is one of my favorite caps from the fall collection. I just love the classic look of this cap, and I'm going to go ahead and rate this thing. I do rate on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I am going to give the Frankenhead a 4. I'm almost there at a 5, but the thing is, and I've said this before, you kind of have to compare it with what else is available out there, especially with the Boston Scally Company. And the Pumpkinhead, to me, just, I don't know if they can top that. I really like that. Oh, and the Jack-O-Rose. I think the Jack-O-Rose is just an immaculate cap. It's so beautiful. That cap just screams Halloween, fall. So those are definitely my top 3 are the Jack-O-Rose, the Frankenhead, and the Pumpkinhead. I love all of those caps. So that is it for today. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.